Chronic illness doesn't just mean physical pain. It also includes the mental anguish of having to plan every single day. So, a lot of people are not aware whenever they see a loved one who doesn't look sick, says that they have a chronic illness, and they tend to say things like, well, I don't understand why you can't meet that family obligation. I don't understand why you can't do this or that or third for me. What do you mean you didn't sleep well last night? People who do not have any sorts of chronic illness have a hard time relating to what it actually is like for somebody with chronic illness. If you want to learn a little bit more about that, please see the spoon theory. I do have a video about that. I'll try to put that down in the description box below so that you can have an understanding if you've never heard the spoon theory before. I probably will give my version of it. And so hopefully that will be helpful to you and your family. When I talk about chronic illness, I talk to not only a lot of patients, but I also talk to a lot of friends who are saying things like, well, Virginia, I know you were just diagnosed with autoimmune disorder. How are you doing this? And how are you doing that? And every single detail down to like what's for dinner. All of these things tend to take up a lot of our bandwidth. And so, what do I mean by it just takes up so much more time? What I mean by that is every single decision that we make, it is a lot of times dictated based upon how we're feeling. And so that can sound like, oh, that's a lazy way of doing things, or that's not practical, or what have you. When you have chronic illness, you don't have much of a choice. For example, I had some family come into town and, it was a nice time. We're having a celebration together. And it got to the point where I was able to go to the celebration earlier in the day. I was able to go out to eat with family. But then by the time I got out to eat with family, I just literally just started crashing in terms of my energy. And before this event happened, I was having conversations with my husband just in terms of like, hey, I'm not sure what my energy load's going to be. Hey, I'm not sure how all these social dynamics are going to go because I'm not going to be able to do the things that I normally do. So that takes a lot of energy in terms of relaying all that to your partner. Being able to communicate in a way to them that it does not seem like, oh, you just don't want to hang out with me, or you just don't want to be with my people, or any of this other mind reading stuff. It's like, no, I'm literally just concerned about my energy and I'm concerned about how I can show up. I don't feel like I'm going to be able to smile. I'm going to look tired. I'm probably going to be a little bit shorter. I'm not going to be the best company. So I don't want to be around if I'm not going to be the best company. Um, there are folks that I love and I care about that I can hang out with them even when I'm not at my best. And they know, okay, well, Virginia's a little shorter or Virginia is she's not smiling all the time and it's not interpreted as a threat signal. So, but all of those things my brain goes through in terms of planning. And then I'm also a mom. So not only am I planning all of these dynamics, all the social dynamics, the pieces in terms of my marriage, the pieces in terms of like what my body's actually capable of doing, when it needs to just kind of give out. And my body tends to give out in the afternoons. And when it's like, I'm done, I'm done. I don't get any other choices or options. It's like an abrupt leave. And I don't like doing that if I have an option to be able to let people know ahead of time. So there's less room for disappointment. There's less room for just kind of like these abrupt changes in the schedule. So I say that, and as I just kind of sigh, I say that as a place of frustration because that literally is what my body is going through today and yesterday and the days planning ahead. Family's still in town today, and so I'm very, very, very aware of okay, how am I going to show up the rest of the time? I crashed yesterday afternoon. I got up this morning. I made sure I was like, okay, am I going to take a walk? Am I not going to take a walk this morning? I opted to take a walk because it was like my body will digest better, my energy will be better, my mood will be better. So I am going to go for a walk. Am I going to bring the kids? Am I not going to bring the kids? Is my husband going to come with me? Is he not going to come with me? All the decision points, all the decision points. So this morning I did opt to go for a walk. This morning I did just take my dog let everybody else just hang out in the bed because that's what worked best for me. That's what worked best for my family at that time. And so that's what I mean by it just takes up so much bandwidth versus you get up in the morning, you check, what's the weather like? Okay, ready to go for a walk. My dog's ready to go for a walk. Family's ready to go for a walk. Let's go for a walk. I'm checking in with all these other pieces and like, what are we doing later on today? What time is family leaving? How do I show up? Um, it feels like it's just so much more mental work. And then when people see me or interact with me, they're just like, oh, that's all you're doing, Virginia? And I'm like, that's all I'm doing. And then not realizing that I am giving, I won't say A plus performance because my body's let me know that if I try to rock A plus performance all the time socially, I will actually take so much sooner in the day. Or sometimes I'll take before the day even gets here. I'll be so dizzy I can't even do the day. So I'm not trying to bring my A plus performance because my A plus performance, I already know, again, mental energy, right? My A plus performance, I already know is going to bring me to a place where my body's going to shut down faster. So I'm like, what does my B look like? Okay, I'm just going to have B level energy and I'm just going to try to make sure that I coast throughout this thing so that I have just enough energy to get me through most of the day. And then my body can just say, okay, clock out time, I'm done. Okay. So I used B level energy, which was a lot specifically with being around family and happy occasion and celebrating a person in the family, which I was more than happy to do. But my B level energy probably looked like a C for other people because it's not equivalent to what I used to do. And so I'm in this process. My family is in this process of trying to figure out what does life look like now? What does Virginia look like now? Is she tripping? Is she in a mood? Like, is she like all the things that people do to mind read? And I'm one that I always tell folks, if you want to know what I'm thinking, please just ask me. Don't look at my face and try to mind read me. Like it's never going to be good. Just ask me. So sometimes I am making a face because I'm tired, or I'm making a face because something hurt, or I'm making a face because I'm trying to think about like, okay, how I'm trying to calculate how much energy do I have left in this moment? What do I have that's left? Am I going to be able to continue to try to coast, or do I need to try to say, hey, look, I've got to go, and just kind of let folks know that I need to go, so I'm not abruptly leaving. I really try to make sure that I'm not doing that. So it's not fun. It's not fun. It's not fun. And oftentimes it puts you in spots where it looks like you are intentionally being short or you're intentionally being rude. And none, that couldn't be further from the case. Um, it could be further. It's just so far from the truth. So I highly recommend that you have a loved one in your life who has a chronic illness, especially if they're recently diagnosed with a chronic illness. You really do have to relearn that relationship again. I'm relearning my relationship with my body. I'm relearning my relationship with others. It's very disappointing a lot of times for other people because I was that person that would do all the things and I could have my A plus effort and I could do all the things. I recently had a colleague send a meme that said, uh, overachievers continue to overachieve until they get to the point where they develop a chronic illness. And chronic illness is the place where the body finally just says no. And I was like, ooh, that's not fun to read. And it's so true. So, you know, for if your loved one is in that boat where they were an overachiever before, and then all of a sudden they have a chronic illness, and you're in a spot where you're relearning them, you're relearning a relationship, it's not fun. Please slow down. Please try to take care of each other and realize that there's going to be probably some spots where there's some more meta communication. And what do I mean by meta communication? Meta communication is essentially communication about your communication. So like I said, my husband and I, we had a lot of meta communication before our family came in town. So some of my meta communication with him was like, look, I might say things like, I'm not going to go out to dinner. And if I'm saying I'm not going to go out to dinner, it's not because I'm upset. It's not because I'm frustrated. It's because I'm tired and I'm worried that my body's going to be out. Or digestive wise, I can't eat anything. Like I don't want to eat anything, can't eat anything. I need to just go home, rest, put my slippers on, put on my robe, and sip some hot tea. That's what I need to do. I don't need to be out for dinner. So it's nothing against you, it's nothing against, family or anything. Like there's nothing like that going on. It literally is my body saying, no more. So we had a lot of meta communication before going, during, and even today. We're still having a lot of meta communication, which is exhausting. But I'd rather do a lot of meta communication so that we're on the same page instead of us getting into an argument. Because that's going to make any flare that I experience way worse. So, again, all the bandwidth. And that doesn't make the schedule. The meta communication does not make the schedule. It's an important part of the process, though, that is an invisible part of the load that we carry with chronic illness. If you are that person, who all of a sudden is finding yourself with a chronic illness, maybe you've just been recently diagnosed with autoimmune disorder, maybe something's going on with your body and you just don't know what it is. Maybe that's going on with you. If that is the case, I do highly recommend that you take some time, you start to kind of like slow down, listen to your own body. And I know when I say slow down, usually people are like, I roll, Virginia, I'm not slowing down, gotta keep going, gotta keep moving. We need to take some time to be introspective. What's going on with me? Because that's the only way you're going to collect the data. Be a little introspective, find out what is actually going on with you. As you start to find out what's going on with you, then you can have that information to be able to relay to your healthcare providers. As you're developing that relationship with your healthcare providers, providing more information for them, they can further know what kinds of tests that you need to run. Again, all of the things that never make my schedule. These things don't make the schedule, but they're so, so, so real. So have a little bit of patience for yourself. Give yourself some time to seriously slow down before your body breaks down. My name is Virginia. I'm a licensed mental health therapist. Please, please, please take good care of yourself and each other. Thanks.